Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. Today I'm bringing you a very special episode of TST Garage in which we will be installing the new Halo-GTR LED flush mount signals on a 2008 to 2016 Yamaha YZF R6. Now our signals are available in a choice of clear or smoked lens. They also give you the ability to couple them with this component, the Halo running light module. This just plugs in and inserts from the back of the unit, and you can basically achieve a running light in the shape of a halo around the perimeter of this lens in the color of your choosing. We have a number of different colors you get to choose, and you actually don't have to choose any of them. You could run this as a standard signal and then couple it up with a color of your choice later on down the line. And also, if you want to change the color at some point, it's really simple. You unplug it, withdraw it, and just swap it out for a different color. Now, the physical installation of these parts is really simple, probably the simplest in the industry. We have made these ratcheting spring clips that insert over the wire on the inside of your fairing. Obviously, the lamp portion inserts from the outside of the fairing, and then they assemble like so. This just ratchets on. These little spring elements preload this assembly against the front and the back of the fairing and make sure that you have a nice secure installation and this thing won't vibrate on you. Should you choose to remove it, you will never have to worry about rusted fasteners or rusted threads. You just unlock the ratcheting locks here, and that comes off, and this will just come right out of the fairing. Like I mentioned, the installation's super simple. There'll be a few steps. Follow along. Let's have some fun. In the first step, we will have to remove this mid fairing off the bike. To do that, we will start by removing all the push fasteners. There are 3 on the inside of the radiator scoop. There is 1 behind here, and then 1 here, and 1 in the rear section, tying the 2 side fairings together for a total of 6 fasteners. To remove these, you press in the center. That will unlock it, and then you just withdraw them. So in the lock position, the button is flush with the top. Push this in, unlocks it, withdraw it, and then you can preset it for reinsertion by leaving it in this position. Now go up the line. Next one's here. Now the next one up here requires the head to be pried from the main body. So it's a little bit different. It's a larger diameter. Show you guys what this looks like. So this particular push fastener, when it's in locked position, the head is seated against the flange here, but it does have a recess where you pry up on it and it unlocks in this position, and then you can withdraw it. Now the next 3 are within the scoop here. I'll have to work carefully up the line. And now that all of these push fasteners are out, we can grab a 4mm Allen and start removing some of the screw fasteners from this bike. The first one we'll do is down here. Now, a trick I have to making sure that all of the screws go back in their proper placement is that I keep the screws aligned with where they came out of. Next one is up here, right behind this point. There's only 1 fastener here. It requires a 4mm Allen. Now moving back, we have 1 over here. On this particular bike, we have a special item here, the rear sets from Gillis Tooling. This actually requires a spacer. You will not likely have this on your bike. It'll just be a screw. one final one down here. I'm gonna hold this fairing so it doesn't drop off and damage anything. Now this will need to slide forward to unlock two clipping features up here under the headlight. And now we've exposed the wiring for our signal. And this is a very simple plug to disengage. You just have to pry up on this locking feature and pull away from the male. And it just comes apart. So now the removal of this actual pod signal is very simple. Yamaha has designed a really nice system, a rubber boot and a plastic spacer lock. If you pry up on this rubber boot, this just comes out and clears the plug. We can put that to the side. And then from the outside, we grasp the signal, turn and pull, and it just comes right out. I can show you that again without the fairing. This is a pretty brilliant mounting mechanism. It keeps the signal flexible in case you hit something. It won't just tear off, but very easy to install and remove. So you pull back on this feature, pry this out, this comes out, and then, like I showed you, this just comes out. All right, now we will grab our signal. The new GTR signals are side specific, so the left side varies from the right side. As you can see, I've chosen the left side here. Fits directly in the well perfectly like that. Before I install it, I would like to pre-configure my halo element on the back of this. If you've purchased these signals in their GTR form without the halo, then you will skip this next step. So I've chosen the clear lens and the white running light for this particular install. You can choose any other combination you like. It's very simple. You just line the little teeth inside the bottom of this well, and you fit it in until it snaps, and then you just plug it in. This is a keyed connection. There's only one way to plug it in, so there's really no ambiguity. And I like to wrap this guy around for strain relief like that. And now I will fit it through the outside of the fairing. Seat it in the well, flip it over, grab my locking element, and you have to make sure that it goes in springs first. Springs will preload this assembly against the fairing. Once you align it, you just press it down, and then you just have to make sure to push the signal from the outside in and push this element until you engage some of those springs and you have some tension, and that way this won't move around on you. All right, that seems pretty good. Now we basically just plug this whole thing in. I like to check these guys, make sure everything's operational before I start turning any screws. So as you can see, we have the white running light. And as you can see, we have the flash function, and you can probably tell at this point, this is hyper flashing at a faster rate than 85 cycles per minute. This is because we've replaced the OEM incandescent lamp with an LED type lamp that draws less current, and your OEM circuit is configured to alert you to something being wrong with your signaling system by flashing much faster. To combat this, you will need to either wire in a pair of resistors, which we try to dissuade people from, or install a nice plug-and-play LED flasher relay that we do provide. We also have a separate video covering the installation of that component. All right, so now let's quickly talk about the routing of these wires. You have your radiator here. You don't want it to hang out here close to the fan. So I will just push all this wiring forward and then get it grouped under here so that when this black shroud that's on the inside of the scoop locks into this fairing, it will keep all our wiring nicely and neatly to the front of the radiator. So on the way back in, what I like to do is align the front first and make sure that our sliding lock elements here align with the windows that receive them. And we're going to align these in the forwardmost portion of those windows. Make sure everything is fitting properly back here. And then slide back so that they're locked in. Make a test to see if they're locked in by pulling away. We have the two locks here. They have actually engaged. So now we can replace some of these fasteners. I like to start with the big push fastener because that keeps it all together for me. Now I can let go and work one fastener at a time. So I will grab a 4mm Allen and the screw that I took out of this location and replace that screw. I'm going to move on back here, install this guy. So in preparation for the other side, I'm going to leave out the last push fastener here and also the one screw that holds these two fairings together from the bottom. Going to replace this fastener. Came out of here. And now make sure my wire routing is good underneath this black panel, and then replace the three fasteners that we took out of there. All right, so this is pretty much done on this side. The only difference on the other side is really the location of the fasteners. There are a couple different screws in different locations, and the inner black shroud only has two of the push fasteners. So I will skip the commentary. It's simple enough just to follow. I'll show you guys the steps, but we'll just do it in a fast fashion, and I'll wrap up by reinstalling all of the hardware, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so as you guys can see, it took about 20 minutes. If I didn't yap and just focus on the work, I could probably cut it down to half that time. You guys can install this without breaking a sweat. All this at a price point that won't bust your wallet. As you can see, really nice, bright signaling, awesome halo effect. Geometry that contours with the fairing is very aerodynamic, very stylish, and I really like this product. I hope you guys will consider checking it out on our website, tstindustries.com, where you could see more information, more pictures, and all the options available to you with the system. This has been Bart. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at tstindustries.com.